Hello and welcome to this crochet tutorial video. I will show you how to make this dress, this mesh dress. It's super easy, I assure you. You don't need any experience. I will show you from scratch. And yeah, I hope you like it and you have fun, and let's do it. So the dress I am wearing on the pictures is made with double yarns. I worked with 2 yarns. So here you can see the difference next to each other. The double yarn dress is a bit more heavier, and it's quicker to work with because the holes are bigger. So I also have 2 different sew methods on the side edges. So the double yarn dress I just sewed through, and on the single yarn dress I made these holes as well. That looks a little bit more sexier. I would prefer the double yarn dress because it's just quicker. Okay, so we will make 2 pieces, a front piece and a back piece, and then we sew it together. But before we start, I will show you what I used. So I have used this 100% cotton yarn from Katia. And for the double yarn dress, I used 2 of them together. And I think I used like 1.5 balls. And then of course we need hooks, a bigger and a smaller one. I have a 4mm and a 5mm hook. And of course we need a wool needle, a button, and a yarn and needle for the button. And then, yeah, of course, scissors are also very necessary. And yeah, then we can start. And we will start with the lower edge from the front piece, as you see here. So my step 1 is the beginning knot. And we start with the bigger hook. In my case it's the 5mm hook, and now I show you how I do that knot. And there is different ways to do that. You can also just Google it or looking for another tutorial. There is plenty. I'm showing you very slow, so I think you can follow, and I don't need to explain it with my words. Also I made all these steps. So if you already done that and know it, then you can already jump to step 2, and so you can jump through the tutorial very quickly if you are already experienced. And if not, I really show everything very detailed, as you can see here. I hope it's good enough. And here it is. That's it. That's the knot. And then our step 2 is that we make a chain, and I have put it up there. If you use a double yarn dress, you make 71 for a size small, 75 for a size medium, and 79 for a size large. But here for single yarn I'm doing 79, and I show you here very slowly how to do that. This is actually every piece of work, like a crochet piece, you would start with a chain like this normally, almost. I think. So here I show it to you a little bit more closer. It's super easy. And yeah, and then you make 79 or whatever, how much you want to do. And you can see that my chain is not very nice, so I'm actually a beginner in doing this. So, but still, you will see that the dress will turn out nice, even if you haven't done that before, I assure you. Okay, so in our next step, it's getting a bit more interesting. Now we count 6 chains or stitches from hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the 6th we put our hook in and pull the yarn through, just like this. And now we made our first loop. We continue with 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we only count 3 chains and put our hook in the 4th one. And again we make a slip stitch. That's how it's called when you pull the yarn through completely through both yarns on your needle. So then again 5 chains and again the 4th stitch, and here we go with a slip stitch. Yeah, and this is actually how you continue. And here I made a little scratch how just to make it a bit more clear. So in the beginning you count 5 chains until you pull the yarn through, and then it's 3, and in the 4th you make a stitch, and then yeah, you continue like this until the end of the row. Yeah, so now we go to step 4. Okay, so I make the last loop in this first row, pull the yarn through, and now by the end of the piece we would now chain 5, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we turn the whole piece and we start from the beginning again. And what I show you now is actually the whole pattern, because now we do a sling stitch in this first loop. So we go through the whole loop and pull the yarn through, just like this. So we have our next loop made. Now we chain 5 again, 3, 4, 5, and then we go through the next loop. And this is actually it. So you continue with this now until you have the length you desire. So above the breast, you stop above the breast to bottom edge. So you can also make it like to knee length or like to maxi length, so whatever you like. Yeah, that's it, and that's so super easy, right? Okay, so now I leave you with that. Have fun, and we meet in the next step, number 5. So this is how I checked on myself if the piece is long enough. I wanted to have it quite short. It's important that you take it in the middle, because then it gets the perfect length. So you just go in front of the mirror and check if it's okay. So now we just change from the smaller to the bigger, no, from the bigger to the smaller hook to get a more tighter work up there, and you continue just until you have your desired length, and then it's it. Break off your yarn. And if you realize now that your work is not wide enough, which can happen, like I have it here, you can use that piece and as your back piece now. So you break off the yarn, and the second piece, which we would start now, can be your front piece. So you just make a longer chain, and then your problem is solved. Here you see my measurements, how many loops I had, in centimeters and inches. So just for you to check, but more important to check on yourself, like on your body. So now we start all over again, because now we do our back piece, and that's actually the same. So we repeat step 1 to step 4, and in the end we break off the yarn, and then you should have 2 pieces like this. So now we stitch up our yarns, and if you haven't done that before, you can see here how I did it. So you use your wool needle, and then it's important that you make a little anchor with your how you pull the yarn through, so it cannot tear out when you move it. So it's important that you stretch the whole thing. I hope you know what I mean. So now we sew the 2 pieces together at the side edges, and then we stitch up the yarns again. So option number 1 is to sew through. So I made a little knot on the bottom edge, and then you just sew step by step in every stitch. It takes some time, but it will look good in the end. So this is how I did it. I just pulled through the stitch. And here you see how it should look in the end. And now I show you the option number 2. So we already made the knot in the lower edge, and now we just do the same on every 4th loop. So I count 4 loops and put them above each other, and in the 4th one I pull the yarn through again with a needle because it's easier, and make 1, 2 knots. 1 and 2, and then I just cut it off, and that's it. Of course you can make the holes on the side a little bit bigger or smaller, so as you wish. So I count again 4, and then I put them above each other, so, and again I just make the knot after the 4th loop. Of course you have to do a lot of yarns. You have to stitch up all the yarns. That also takes some time, so in the end both options take the same time. Here you see how it should look like. It looks also really nice to have these little another bigger loops in the end. So, and on our last step we just have to attach the button at the neck piece. So you can do it either like here on the very corner, or also a little bit underneath, so 3 loops underneath the corner. Then you have a little bit turtleneck going on. That's what I did on the double yarn dress. I will show you in a second. So we stitch it up the button just like this. And here you see now the double yarn dress with this little turtleneck. So I attached the button a little bit underneath the upper edge, and then it looks like this. And here we have our finished dress. That's it. This is how it should look like. So thank you so much for doing this tutorial, and I hope that everything turned out as you wished and everything was clear. I hope you liked it and that you love your new dress. I believe if you do it yourself, you will love it forever. So have an amazing summer. See you next time. Bye!